You know the feeling when you start something completely new, a fresh notebook, a ready-to-edit timeline, a video you've just started shooting. Everything feels light. You almost want to jump out of the frame. But then something strange happens. Your journey continues, your story matures, you make real progress, and somehow you're no longer there. You've lost interest right before it starts to make any sense. So I realized, if I don't understand why this happens, every project, every initiative, and every story I care about will eventually disappear. And I refuse to let that happen. I needed to understand why my energy keeps disappearing, why stories I care about become harder to continue over time, why beginnings feel intoxicating, the middle goes flat, and the ending turns uncomfortable. So I decided to treat it as a real problem and find out what's actually happening. You know, we all love beginnings. Whenever I start a new project, everything just clicks. I smile more, I move faster, things feel effortless. I'm becoming the main character of my story. I see myself with the result in my hands, be it a finished color grade or a sound design. Sometimes I would even imagine myself on an artificial stage when I'm getting praise and maybe an Oscar for the best original use of a keyboard click. I'm confident, I'm capable, I belong in this story. This is my head where it's still just the beginning. Whenever I was working in a team, I noticed that every first few weeks of a project are a constant burst of energy. But then, it starts to feel normal. We show up every day, of course, and do the work. We make progress, check off another item from our to-do list, and welcome the same Tuesday again. Nothing's wrong. It's like watching a second movie of a trilogy. It's still good. You're still there, but the feeling is different. I tell myself this is a part of the process. We lose interest in small things all the time. This video we skipped after 3 seconds, that blog post we saved for the future. Yet this, on the other hand, requires much more. So it's pretty normal that it's gonna take time and effort. Maybe it's fine that it doesn't feel exciting anymore. Maybe that's just how it goes. Or it's simply a problem with my discipline. If I force myself to keep showing up, everything will eventually get better, right? But then, this day comes. The day when you tell yourself, let's do it tomorrow. It's not working. It's me. It's not you. Don't look at me like that. You've been a great project, but, you know, times are tough. And I need to focus on myself. I don't feel like we connect the same way as we did before. No, I try to do the right thing. I don't quit, and instead I look for answers. I turn to books, stories I loved and also those I don't know yet. I start paying attention to how they feel, at the beginning, in the middle, near the end, but it gets me nowhere. So I pause, I close my books, I step away. And I'm left with a thought I really don't like. What if some stories aren't meant to be finished? When I get stuck working on a problem, I usually go outside. I breathe fresh air, take a walk, and occasionally I grab a coffee. Things start to look different. I can see another perspective, and I noticed I might have been looking in the wrong direction. I'd been focused so much on finding out why I was losing energy, I never questioned where all that energy came from in the first place. I kept asking why it was gone when maybe the better question was, why do I feel so alive at the start? Whenever I start a new project, everything feels open. I can choose any tools, any direction, any possibilities on the table. Constraints exist, yeah, but they are still far away. When I look at stories in books, it's the same. The plot usually begins in an open world. There's uncharted territory ahead, many ways the main character could take, but it's ultimately up to them how the story unfolds. That's how the beginnings in my own life felt too. I felt in control and like everything was possible. I wasn't thinking about the journey. I was imagining different scenarios, but that was it. Fresh starts always felt alive because they were full of freedom, at the beginning, at least. If freedom kept disappearing as the journey went on, then something about the way I was creating had to change. I was treating my projects like feature films with a single fixed vision, and somehow along the way I forgot why I started them. I shouldn't have to finish it perfectly, but to enjoy being inside it. Stories need room to move, to change direction, to lose parts, to become something else along the way. If I want to go back 3 steps, I should be able to. If a section doesn't belong anymore or it feels like an unnecessary struggle, it doesn't stay. The moment I stop feeling alive doing something, more discipline won't fix it. The project is asking for more freedom. I've recently committed to something completely new. This channel. I know how the beginnings feel, but this time I also pay attention to what happens after. Some days feel light, some of them feel normal. And when that happens, I don't rush to start over, I pause. When something stops feeling magical and starts looking like the routine, maybe it's the moment when the story needs a new frame, not a new beginning.